All right, so let's dive into the mind of a poet who looked at the modern world and saw, well, a pretty fallen place. But for him, escape wasn't about getting out. It was about completely reimagining everything from the inside.
Okay, let's just start with this bombshell of a quote, because this is pure Baudelaire. He had this really dark, pessimistic view of humanity and all its so-called progress. And to get his art, you really have to start right here, with this unsettling belief.
So, to really get a handle on his wild ideas about art, we first need to get a picture of the world he was pushing back against. We're talking 19th century Paris, bustling, commercial, and, at least in his eyes, totally spiritually bankrupt.
You know, Baudelaire's life was short and pretty turbulent, full of controversy and sickness, but in just 46 years, wow, his work managed to completely change the direction of literature and art forever.
To survive in this world he couldn't stand, he basically created two different personas for himself. On one hand, you've got the dandy, kind of aloof, obsessed with pure beauty, and totally rejecting all the materialistic stuff society cared about. And on the other hand, you have the flaneur, the wanderer, the guy who would dive deep into the city streets, just observing all the corrupt but strangely fascinating parts of modern life.
And this quote, this one really nails the central problem for him. He saw the modern obsession with progress and money, not as some great achievement, but as a kind of spiritual poison. To him, it was just fundamentally evil.
So you might be asking, how does a poet get away from a world he thinks is so awful? Well, Baudelaire's answer was pretty revolutionary. He doesn't run from it. Instead, he learns to see right through it.
This, right here, is the absolute core of his artistic vision. It's called the symbolist aesthetic. It's the idea that everything we see and touch and smell in this world, it's all just a clue, a symbol that points to something higher, something more perfect, something heavenly.
He literally believed the world was like a giant dictionary of hieroglyphics. All the meanings are there, just waiting to be read, but you need someone to translate them. And for Baudelaire, the artist, the poet, is that translator.
So you can kind of see the process here. It's almost like the artist's secret formula. Step 1, observe the real world, the good, the bad, all of it. Step 2, decipher the hidden meanings, those heavenly correspondences. And then step 3, and this is the magic part, use your art to reveal that hidden perfect world to the rest of us. But to crack that code, to read that dictionary of hieroglyphics, you're going to need a special tool, right? A kind of power that Baudelaire thought was pretty much divine.
And this was the big question he had to answer to make his whole theory work. I mean, it's not enough to just look at reality. The poet has to be able to actively create meaning from what they see.
And here it is, his powerful, elegant answer. For Baudelaire, imagination wasn't just about making up fantasies. No, it was the single most powerful, most important faculty of the human mind, the queen of them all.
And for Baudelaire, imagination isn't some fuzzy idea. It's a real power. Almost a divine one. It's not just about seeing the world. It's about intuitively understanding all the secret connections between things. Think of it like a superpower that lets you take reality apart and then rebuild it, but this time according to the logic of your own soul. Now, an idea this huge about the power of imagination, it doesn't just stop there. It actually forced a complete rethinking of what art itself is even for.
And right here, you can see where he takes a sharp turn away from his hero, Edgar Allan Poe. See, Poe famously said art should just be for art's sake, not for teaching lessons. Baudelaire was like, I agree, but, and his but was huge. He argued that the imagination is so powerful that it doesn't just create beautiful art, it actually creates its own higher form of truth and morality.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's this. By putting the imagination on a throne, Baudelaire basically made the individual artist the ultimate judge of what's real.
And this might be his most radical claim of all. Imagination doesn't just reflect the truth, it is the truth. He's saying it has this divine right to take that storehouse of images from the world and rearrange it into a new, truer reality, one that's authorized only by the artist's inner vision.
You really can't overstate his legacy. He's seen as the father of French symbolism, a huge influence on modern writers. He fundamentally shifted the entire goal of art away from just copying the world as it is and toward creating entirely new worlds from within. And so, we're going to leave you with that provocative thought.
It's a question that drove Baudelaire's entire life's work, and honestly, it's one that artists and thinkers are still wrestling with today. If imagination is the queen of truth, what does real even mean